So here we have Aloha, and I'm going to log in, and the goal of this video is going to be to create a generic tender button. You'll notice that they have a table and they try to close that out. Normally what they have is some selection of maybe cash buttons. They may have a house account button, a gift certificate, and this is what's very common, EDC, which is when you tap this, you're going to be swiping a card, and that's what we're trying to avoid. So we're going to create a new copper tender button. This is a generic tender button, and we're going to put it right about here to the right of the 5 button. So I'm going to go into the back office, and I'm going to show you how that's done. Back at the back office computer station where the server's at that powers all the stations out in the restaurant, and we'll go to Aloha Manager. And we need to log in. All right, once we're in Aloha Manager, we're going to go over to Maintenance. Scroll down to Payments, and we're going to work with the tenders. So we're going to create a new generic tender button. The way we do that is we go over here to where it says New. There's a drop down here. Let's click on that. And here's all the different types of tender buttons that we can create. And what we want to do is just select generic. Say OK. Now we want to configure that generic button. First we give it a name. I like to use all capital letters, and I'm going to say C-O-P-P-E-R. We're going to call it Copper. Now we can let Aloha choose where that button goes, but remember I wanted to put it right next to the 5 button. So I'm going to go over here on button position, and I'm going to choose. Remember that was right here. I'm going to select right next to the 5. Okay, that's done. Now I'm going to select out of that. Oops. I want to make sure that that button is active. I also am tracking this so it shows up on reports. One very important thing is here, this selection here, print, check, on, close. We always want, for all of our tenders, we actually want that to be checked. Just a good rule of thumb, go through all your tenders and make sure they're all printing a check on close. Now you may, as optional, you may want to also kick open a cash drawer if you want to keep the final receipt in the cash drawer. One very important thing is for tips. We do want to allow for tips, and we want to be able to make sure that the value is high enough. I don't have any general rule. I typically set this very high. I set it to $9.99. And that's all there really is to it. So I can go ahead and save. If I want to go back and review my other, let's review cash. Let's make sure that that's also up. Is it printing the check on close? Yes, it is. So great. So that's all we really need to do in this section. But now we want to make sure that we affect those changes back on all the point of sale systems. So we're going to do a refresh. We go to Utilities. There's actually available in 2 different spots, but we want to refresh POS on all. You can also get to it here. I'm going to go ahead and automatically choose that. And you'll notice that this is actually going to bring the systems down in the front of the house. So before you do this, you want to make sure that you're either closed for business or you're at a lull, and you let all the servers know I'm refreshing the point of sale. The systems will go down very shortly, and then everything will come back up, and we'll see the new tender button. The systems will go down very shortly. All right, the system's booted back up. We log in now. Go back to that table, and if we wanted to close that out, you'll see that we now have a copper tender button. So if we wanted to close that check, we would close this check out to copper. We would hit OK. We'd put any gratuity that needs to be added to that shows up on the confirmation ticket. And close it out. Now table 1 can be sat again.